Imagine this. You sink into your couch, pick up your PS5 or Xbox controller, and instead of waking a giant console, you tap a tiny Apple TV box. The screen lights up with a full native version of Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil, or Death Stranding running on your TV. No cloud latency. No bulky hardware. Just a sleek 4K streaming box that suddenly feels like a console. That's the dream a lot of us have been quietly waiting for. And in 2026, it might finally be real. Today, we're diving into the next Apple TV 4K, the model that Whisper Network swore was coming in 2025. Then didn't, and why the latest rumors are so wild that if they pan out, this could be the most underrated Apple product of the decade. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see how one chip, in one small box, could turn Apple TV into both a legit console alternative and the smartest AI device in your living room. Let's jump in. Quick reality check. The current third-gen Apple TV 4K launched in 2022. In tech years, that's ancient. Throughout 2025, reports pointed to a new model. First September, then October, then maybe November. And now, with 2025 basically in the rearview, there's still no new Apple TV on shelves. But that delay is exactly what makes the next move interesting. According to reporting from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple does have a new Apple TV 4K in the pipeline, aiming for early 2026. With faster silicon, in-house wireless components, and a starring role in Apple's next big software wave, Apple Intelligence, and a major Siri reboot. Buried in those rumors is the twist that changes everything. Multiple reports suggest the next Apple TV 4K could step up to Apple's A17 Pro class chip. If that's true, Apple's little black box stops being just a streamer and starts looking like a tiny console. Let's talk about why a 17 Pro matters. This isn't a routine spec bump. It's the same chip that debuted with iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. And Apple used it to show full-blown console-quality games running natively on a phone. Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Death Stranding, Sniper Elite 4. We've even seen big-name titles hit iOS through the App Store, and services like Netflix Games, Hello, Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. Not cloud streaming. Actual native ports. On a phone. So ask yourself, if a pocket-sized device can push those games, what happens when you drop that same class of chip into a box that lives under your TV? Has constant wall power, room for cooling, and output straight to a 4000 display? Now add Apple's graphics stack Metal 3, Metal FX upscaling, hardware accelerated ray tracing, and modern shader features, and you start to see the picture. This isn't a casual bump. This is console-grade ambition in a living room footprint, and Apple's already laid the groundwork. tvOS pairs natively with popular controllers. DualSense? Pair it. Xbox wireless controller? Pair it. No proprietary controller required. The Apple TV App Store is mature. Game Center and iCloud handle profiles and saves. Apple Arcade covers family-friendly titles, and iOS already has a growing library of AA ports. The pieces are on the table. All Apple has to do is click them together, put it all together, and you get a simple, compelling idea. If Apple wants to, the next Apple TV 4K can be a legit, casual-friendly console without Apple ever saying the word console. For a huge portion of people, that's more than enough. No $500 box. No fan screaming. No cloud compression. Just grab your controller, launch a game like you launched Netflix, and play. And that's only half the story. The other half is Apple Intelligence. Apple's next-gen software push focuses on a more capable, more personal Siri, generative AI features built into your devices, and on-device intelligence that understands you, your preferences, your household, your habits. A 17 Pro class. Silicon is a key part of that equation, because older chips simply can't keep up with the on-device. AI Apple wants to run at scale. Now put that in the living room, and the Apple TV stops being one more HDMI input and starts acting like the brain of your home entertainment. Imagine a Siri that's actually useful on your big screen. Find me something like The Last of Us, but lighter, under 40 minutes. Trending this week. Show co-op games I can play with too. Controllers that are kid-friendly. Resume. The game I started on my iPhone, switch it to the TV. Build. A watch list from shows my family actually finishes. Not the ones we quit halfway. Start movie night. Lights to 30%. HomePods to theater mode. And skip the recaps. That's what Apple Intelligence could unlock on Apple TV. Real context. Cross-app discovery. Smarter recommendations. Multi-user awareness, and tight integration with your Apple Gear without sending everything to the cloud. And the A17 Pro level chip matters twice here. It can drive AAA gaming and power the on-device. Apple wants to showcase Dot. So when would this little box arrive? Nothing is official yet, but the cadence lines up. Apple is expected to expand Apple Intelligence and roll out the new Siri more broadly in 2026. Gurman has suggested Apple TV will help showcase those features. A launch in early 2026 spring, March, or April makes a lot of sense. New Siri, broader Apple Intelligence features, and a new Apple TV 4K that runs both. It's not confirmed. It's a smart read of Apple's usual hardware plus software playbook. Will this replace a PS5 or Xbox Series X for hardcore gamers overnight? Probably not. Console ecosystems are massive. Not every studio will prioritize tvOS on day one. But here's the key. They don't have to. If the best native port's already on iPhone, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Resident Evil 4 and Village, Death Stranding, Sniper Elite 4, plus high-profile classics like the GTA trilogy suddenly feel native on your TV through Apple TV. No extra box required. That's enough to get a lot of people to pay attention. That's enough to make someone ask, why am I still using this cheap streaming stick when this one box does premium streaming, premium audio, and real games? And once an audience forms, developers follow. Apple's tools make the path smoother. Same metal stack. Same Apple Silicon architecture across iPhone, iPad, Mac. And potentially a more powerful Apple TV. Universal purchases and cloud. Saves can make it feel seamless to own a game across devices. The incentive grows, and the library snowballs. There's another detail tucked into the rumors: in-house wireless parts. If Apple moves to its own Wi-Fi and Bluetooth components in Apple TV, expect better range, lower latency, and tighter integration with controllers and HomePods. That matters for gaming responsiveness, Dolby Atmos home theater setups. And that just works feel Apple fans expect. Here's the bottom line. If the reports are right, and Apple ships a new Apple TV 4K in 2026 with an A17 Pro-class chip and full Apple Intelligence support, this tiny box could do three things at once. Replace your streaming stick with premium 4K HDR and Dolby Vision. Unlock native console quality gaming in the living room with your existing PS5 or Xbox controller. And become the smartest AI device connected to your TV. No cloud dependency. No noise. No giant console price tag. Now I want to hear from you. If Apple actually delivers this AA gains, a new Siri that's genuinely helpful, Apple Intelligence baked into your TV experience, would you buy the next Apple TV 4K? Would you ditch your Fire TV or Roku? Would you even hold off on a console? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, and I'm genuinely curious where you land on this. And if you want every leak, hands-on, and update about the next Apple TV 4K and Apple Intelligence as it happens, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You'll want to know the day this rumor becomes real.